Hello, it's Earth Lovers Oracle here with Stella. Today is the new moon in Virgo, and as I record this, it has already taken place in the UK at 3 minutes past 12, and in other countries, obviously, it's going to vary greatly. Eastern time, Pacific time, Australian time. So basically, each new moon gives us an opportunity for a fresh start, but the start is not, it's not like so upbeat. It is because we've come from the darkness of when the moon wanes and goes down, it actually disappears for a day or so, and there is literally just the void. So when the moon actually, you see a little slither, which is the new moon. It it's rather like when giving birth. It can feel precarious. It can feel like coming out of the darkness. So one can feel a little bit below par, a little bit anxious. It's quite interesting. And in the sign of Virgo, Virgo is an earth sign, and it's ruled by the planet Mercury, as Gemini, its other sign is. But with Mercury manifests very physically in Virgo, and it's rather like Virgos are rather like barometers, that they can sort of, everything that's going on, they normally, it absorbs into their bodies more than most people. So that they are like living gauges of, if stress is going on, things can go straight to their stomach. So again, it's this feeling of that one can feel physically a little out of par, but then the great thing is that with the sensibilities of Virgo, one can put measures in place to do something about it. So we have a lovely picture. This is one of Yasmin Boland's moonology oracle cards. Virgo is symbolized by the maiden, or it could be the virgin, but actually what it means is somebody who is quite self-contained in their own company, and they're fine with themselves, and they carry a sense of purity because the measures that they take to be organized, to be healthy, there's very much that. So that's the gift that Virgo brings to the world, and each sign brings a gift. So when each month, when we're whatever sign we're in, we're coloured by that. It's like we emphasize and concentrate on it, even if it's not consciously. You'll find that things actually do go that way. So we have a new moon and a new beginning, and the best way for success is to do things properly and methodically with Virgo. We have here the next four cards are the Archangel Metatron cards by Amanda Ellis, and we have the card of letting go, a time for release, and we are heading up for autumn. But actually, around the time of the new moon, although you could think, oh, letting go, that's a very odd thing to do, but the full moon is about release, which is not the same thing as letting go. And letting go means that maybe, with the new moon energy, if you sit quietly with that and you think, well, is there maybe a bit of an attitude or a bit of hurt that I need to let go of, or I need to look at a little bit more? Because if things are impairing you, you're less likely to manifest as well as if you've got if you've cleared something that is actually sitting there. So I can leave that with you individually, just to see that there is something, it could be a friendship, a misunderstanding, it could be something, or you could be actually okay at the moment. So this is a great time to release. It's like the deflate before one actually gains momentum, as the moon then starts to wax. And then the next card that was drawn, which I think fits very much into the pattern of Virgo, is white, and you see a diamond here with an angel wing around it. White, purity and innocence. So if you think about even crystal quartz that's very, very clear, and a diamond, they have traces of rainbow hue through them, and the purity is amazing and the energy is fantastic. If you see it, it is actually very, very energizing. And I think if we take the diamond, a lot of reasons I think people are drawn to them, it's not so much of the cost of them, but it is actually the sparkle is the light, and we are actually drawn to the light to to make us feel better, to help us to heal any dark patches or any discontent within ourselves. So again, if this month you can make, it's a very good time to to detox, because we are actually on the tail end of Virgo now. But for the next month, if you think this is the new moon in Virgo, it's a very good time to start to have like a small detox or a change of diet that goes on beyond a month. And just to purify your life in some way. It could be, sorting out paperwork, because often if you don't attend to things, it can really weigh you down. And so that you know where everything is, that you haven't got a lot of clutter around, that everything is absolutely organized and you can lay your hand on it. And then in your mind, it has a very calming effect, because you know that that sort of everything is where you should be, and you can keep an eye on things like finances and so forth. That's really useful. And then I think that a very good thing to do, having trained as a feng shui consultant, is to actually, wherever you live, be it rented, be it your own property, if you give it a cleanse beyond the normal, housework, it's like a thorough cleanse. And then if you sort of wash the floors and put essential oils in it, and then you can open the windows, and you can use a spritzer spray to make things feel beautifully clean, or you can use incense or a smudge stick to purify it if you feel that a lot of emotions have gone on recently, or disagreements that need purifying. And then in that instance, open the windows and let the fresh air come in to help to clear the air, and that will really help. And then also what you can do is put a glass of fresh flowers somewhere, or a live plant, because that is sort of like new life and fresh energy. And also things like crystals, like rose quartz and amethyst are very healing, and clear quartz for clarity. If you can put those in places like bedrooms, it would be typical to use rose quartz for harmony, and maybe in social areas where you feel that there might have been a little bit too much negativity, so that would be lovely. And then if you have a study or an office, a workroom, you could put some crystal quartz, because that's very inspirational, and it really does help to clear your mind. So I think that's a very good thing to do. And you can obviously make sure that clutter is removed and that broken things are mended, because if you regularly, like say, go through your front door and everything is difficult to get in the front door, and it looks grubby, and maybe a handle's broken or a light's not working, that, although it seems like trivia, can really weigh you down, because you think, oh yes, I must do that. Well, if you do it, actually things feel really pristine. So especially with the front door area, if you make that as lovely as you can, because you have to go through it, several times a day, and it is like your statement to the world, like, behind these walls, this is what my house is like. It's, I care about this, and you will feel very uplifted every time you go over the threshold, if you make even that area as lovely as you can. So these, the wonderful thing about Virgo type action, it's very, very practical. It's often something that doesn't cost a lot of money. It's something that you can set to and do. And if you do things like, and once you start, it's actually very, very energizing. Whereas to start with, you might think, oh, I haven't got time to do all that. But the more of it you do, it really brings an energy of its own. So I think that is a lovely way to bring in a new beginning. So the second to last card we have is, this is really like, it's like Metatron's card. There's an angel there, and it's called A Wake Up Call. Listen and take note. It's a beautiful card. And you can see that he has a shell that he's whispering into and making music with, but actually it's sort of like giving wisdom. So really, it's, one can look at that on a spiritual level, which is always lovely. And once the you feel like the dross has been cleared out of your life, you will be feeling more receptive, even to being generally more intuitive. But also on a practical level around you, if you just try and see what is what's going on. And at the moment there is a lot going on in the world, that there's a lot of upheaval, and there quite often there is a lot of we're not given the full story on things. So you can, if something takes your interest, you could research it, find out the facts, and see if that fits into your pattern of how you see the world. Because the world is actually going through quite a lot of change. It's sort of much more than it has done in a long time. And on a spiritual level, it has been said years ago that yes, we will be in a much better space, and we will elevate ourselves, and we'll be much more harmonious. But first, it's like the dross has to come up, and it sometimes what is below can be very unpleasant, and it needs clearing. It needs to come to light, and then once it's seen, it can be dealt with. So if you could think about that in your own life, but even on a collective level, if we see, with with the discords and the riots and the disharmony, and you sort of think, well, will it ever end? Yes, it will, but you might like to get more of a handle on that, or see if your thoughts are in line with the reasons behind things. That that is, to have knowledge is power, and if you feel drawn to it, it is quite, it's very interesting actually to, and I think you would draw comfort from having deeper knowledge. So the last card is evolution, birthing the new. And on if we take it on a personal level, it could be, if you see there's a baby, it could be that one, that if a woman is expecting a baby, or as a couple you're thinking of having a child, there's this fragility and this newness and this perfection, because obviously a baby is perfect. It is a clean slate, and hopefully it's born in the best possible way. So you could be going through that. It could be to do with a creative project that you want to bring along, and so it's taking the right measures to, you've had the ideas, and it's putting things into place, researching, going over things. It because the in this changing world, one thing that some things we can control, so you might as well do that to the best of your ability, because then it's very empowering to to put things in order, and to know where you are, not feel like you're in free fall. But also, if we think of evolution and birthing the new, we will through this go into a better times of being more harmonious, and society being more equal. But at the moment, it just feels, it does feel rough, because everything is sort of unleashing and cleansing. But actually, we, towards the end of the year, the planet Saturn moves out of Capricorn, where it's been for at least a couple of years, and it's been with these other two intense planets, and that and Jupiter, they move into the sign of Aquarius. And Aquarius is much more about equality, of things being better for everybody, not just for the small few, while there is a lot of suffering in the world, because that is the way that it has been for a long, long time. And so it's, we cannot say exactly when this ideal state will come to fruition, but with baby steps, again, we have the thing of the image, with baby steps and cooperation, we will actually, come together, and the world will be much improved, which I think is something that's really, really, really heartwarming. And if you can hold on to that and know that the dawn is coming, but it's like because humans are unpredictable, and some humans are driven by greed or other things, it's very complex. So things that have been in society for a long time take a good while to unravel, but it is a time of a lot of spiritual energy, and the purer you can be in the grounded way, because we're talking about Virgo, the earth sign, and organizing, purifying, and making as perfect as you can the parts of your life that you can. It will reap rewards tremendously. And I really recommend cleaning your house, feng shuiing it, because everybody can do it. It's sort of what one does instinctively, if one does it properly, and the energy will really give your health a lift, give your emotions a lift, and your energy a lift to help you during this period. So I hope this Virgo month, that whatever you whatever you wish for or put into fruition, see that it has some backing, and really by the month's end, that's in 28 days time, you will have, even if it's a modicum of an idea that you are on the right path, that you'll have confirmation of that. And not every seed that is sown can be successful, and it might be that you need to rework something by the end of that period. But I wish you a wonderful and constructive Virgo new moon, and I hope you've enjoyed this reading, and take care. If you like the video, please like, and if you'd like to subscribe, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.